Shalom, shalom, everyone. Anyone, the one or two people that watch. I am Rebekah Teshuvah, and I am going to just keep reading today about where Yahshua was between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. And as you notice, I am in not a new spot. I actually just turned the camera. Basically, I couldn't deal with the wallpaper smell yesterday, so I have the same nice metal background. As you can see, I'm definitely in our storage unit. All right, so I don't know, the lights are a little bit like, I feel like I'm a little washed out, and trust me, I'm not, but anyway, I just want to read for just a few minutes. Today actually has been a pretty hard day for me. I don't know if it is for you or not, but I tend to perk up when I get in front of the camera. I perk up when I think about the fact that there might actually be somebody on the other side of that camera that is actually wanting to meet with me today. And I also perk up when I'm with another human being, and face to face. It helps you kind of get out of yourself. But I also thought that perhaps one of the best ways to deal with internal frustration and pain is just to read his words, right? So I just thought that I don't have a whole lot of time right now. I've got to run in just probably about 20 minutes, but I thought I would like to try to, I'm doing this also because I'm messing with my equipment and trying to make sure I know how to use it. So I thought I would stop by and do this before the show tomorrow. So on a side note, definitely show up for our Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl show tomorrow at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Here on the YouTube channel. I think on the front page of the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, I have an event that you can actually, a scheduled live event that you can actually say, yeah, I'm waiting to watch that. So yeah, it's tomorrow, 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Would love to have you join us. It will be there archived later as well if you can't join us tomorrow night. But yeah, so shall we go? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's read. All right. And let's see. We are, oh yeah, please be with broken hearts. And please just infuse us with your Ruach HaKodesh, who gives comfort and joy in the midst of hard and in the midst of just frustration and things. We're on the side of paradise. I know we're on the wrong side of paradise, but you're doing everything you can to get us on the other side. So I so appreciate and love you and honor you for all the work that you do to make that happen. Okay. Event 125. So we left off. This is part 2 of where he was between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. So part 2, and we're gonna have a part 3. I know it. All right. So event 125. Again, just so you know, I am using the chronological Gospels. At some point, I'm gonna bring the little one in here and read from that instead of this big one. You probably think I'm a granny or something. Oh, and by the way, I just have to say, somebody said I've had a hard day. Excuse me, I've had a hard day. So I went to kind of comfort myself and to buy some French fries, okay? I don't do that very often at all. I do not eat fast food, deep fried, yucky food. But just every once in a while, like maybe twice a year sort of thing. So I went and sat in line in the car for like 20 minutes at Wendy's to get a French fries. And I got them, and then I raced over here, and come to find out, they've got no salt on them. Ah! I was so mad. They taste awful without salt. Anyway, which kind of goes off of what we were talking about yesterday when I read what Yahshua said about you being salt of the earth, right? Yeah, without it, truth can be pretty hard to take, I think. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, some mean person was watching one of my readings here, and I was gonna, my whole point with the with the French fry story was I was going to bring it here and I was going to eat it while I was reading it. Decided it's probably not a good idea, but I was just thinking about that because I brought grapes one day and snacked on grapes just a bit, and some mean person said, basically don't bother trying to eat grapes as your appearance is deteriorating or getting old, or you're looking old in appearance or something like that. Now I can't remember, because I don't choose to remember. I choose to let those things go. I delete and block. So anyway, just I don't know why I said that, but story for you. Okay. Event 125, Yeshua's family leaves for the Feast of Tabernacles. Yeshua and his disciples spend the night in his home in Capharnaum, 11th day of the 7th month. So this is the day after Yom Kippur in the year 4027 from creation, Wednesday, October 1st. So we're actually still on the day after Yom Kippur. If you remember, yesterday we were reading everything that happened on that day after Yom Kippur, and it was quite a bit. So we're going to finish that day right now. So John 7:2, if you have your scriptures, it starts John 7:2. Let's read. Now the Feast of Sukkot. Let me move this over here, because I'm like, okay. All right. Now the Feast of Sukkot, or Tabernacles, was drawing near. Yeshua's brothers said to him, "Depart from here and go into Judea, that your other disciples also may see the works that you do. For there is no man that does anything in secret when he himself seeks to be known openly. If you are really going to do this, declare yourself to the world." For neither did his brothers believe in him. Then Yeshua said to them, "It is not my time yet, but you can go up to Jerusalem any time you are ready. The world hates me because I testify against it, that its works are evil. But the world cannot hate you, so go ahead up to the feast. I am not going up to the feast just yet. It is not yet the time for me to go up." Then, after he informed them, he remained in the Galilee. Wow. So he's like, it's not my time. You can go any old time you want, but because the world don't hate you, but the world hates me, so it's not my time yet to go. Which is interesting, because he did go up to, so it's, every male had to go up to the Hag feast, or the pilgrimage feast, right? And so he was going to go do that. He did. He showed up later. He just didn't go right when they were going to go. So, interesting. Interesting. What temptation, man. Even his own brothers tried to tempt him to kind of operate from a different motive than a true motive. One that is a humble servant of Yehovah. Kind of tempted him to be known openly and just to, kind of flaunt himself, sort of thing. And I just think this is all, by the way, this is eating of Yeshua. This is how you eat of Yeshua, is you're going to feast on him. You're going to read what he does and then contemplate what he does. You're going to read his words and intake them, and not just read, fast all the way through it. People go through their scriptures. I know people who read their Bible front to back like 5 times a year, or 1 time a year, or whatever it is, and I'm like, how can you read all this and not understand that you're still living in error? You're still living in sin. But I think so much of it we just go through it so fast, without the Ruach, that it just flies right by us. You got to sit with it. You got to intake it. You got to, you got to inhale him, and you've got to eat of him. So you're breathing him, and you're eating of him, and you're contemplating him. That's what eating of Yeshua is. Okay. So we're going to find out the situation and what he did, and perhaps why he did. We can perhaps know. Yeah. So, okay, here we go. Event 126. So this is actually the second day after Yom Kippur. Remember, there's 5 days between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. All right. Yeshua and a few trusted disciples journeyed to Jerusalem via Samaria when the days of his going up were being fulfilled. And that's in quotes. The 12th day of the 7th month, 4027 from creation, Thursday, October 2nd. All right. Luke 9:51 says, "When the time came for him to go up to the Feast of Sukkot, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem." And then that's Luke 9:51. John 7:10 echoes that. After his brothers went up to the feast, then he also went up in secret. Wow. Okay, so I believe... yeah, that just answered exactly what I was trying to say, right? You don't need to see those. Sorry. What I was trying to say is that he went up in secret. He went up by himself to the feast, didn't go with his family, but did obey the the command there. All right. We have event 127. Yahshua sends envoys into the Samaritan village, 13th day of the 7th month, 4027 from Creation Friday. So we've got the day after. This is the third day after Yom Kippur. So we have 2 more days until Sukkot. Here we go with the little bit of commentary at the very beginning. Says, Yahshua had spent 2 days with these Samaritans just before Shavuot, when they confessed him as the Messiah in John 4:39-42. Now they refuse to welcome him because they find out that he is adamant about going up to Jerusalem for Sukkot and is not going to honor their altered Torah text, which commands them to celebrate the feasts on Mount Gerizim. That's the 10th commandment in the Samaritan's Torah text. Talk about changing Torah. Yahshua and his disciples continue their journey, but several Samaritans pledged to follow him with a few caveats. Okay, here we go. Luke 9:52-62 is this event. Yahshua sent emissaries before him, and they entered into a Samaritan village to prepare the way for him. But they did not receive him, because he was adamant about going up to Jerusalem for Sukkot. When his disciples Yaakov and Yohanan saw this, they said, Master, shall we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Eliyahu did? Yahshua turned and rebuked them. You do not understand the spirit from which that thinking comes, he said. The Son of Man did not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. Wow, isn't that, oh man, I am so glad that I am not God. Okay, I'm so glad I am not Elohim. I'm so glad you are not Elohim. Because we hit the fan so fast. We see red so fast. We feel so offended so fast. We get hurt so fast, and we operate out of, jealousy and places that are not so good so fast. I'm not saying that to be jealous, to be angry, or that sort of thing is wrong, because the scriptures doesn't say it's wrong. It says, what you do with that is wrong. So you see Yahovah being jealous, you see Yahovah angry, you see him doing these things, but he's operating from, like a holy place, and we always don't. So interesting. They were like, let's obliterate him and get him completely off the face of the earth. And he's like, that thinking comes from the wrong side. Wow, like these are people who were following him, who were tight with him, and they were eating of him constantly, and they still had didn't quite get it. So anyway, I'm glad I'm not Elohim. I would have, right? It's a bad spirit. I want to have Yeshua's spirit in me. I want to be perfected so that I can love like he does. All right. Then they moved on to another village of the Samaritans. As they entered, a certain man proclaimed, Master, I will follow you anywhere you go. Yeshua replied, Foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has no permanent place to lay his head. Yeshua said to another, Follow me. But he said, Master, allow me to catch up with you after I bury my father in a few years. Now, some of this now, as I said, just remember, the chronological Gospels has on the front like a key or a guide that says what it means when things are in italics or in brackets and that sort of thing. And so the team that put this together, Michael Rood and his crew, they have looked at the manuscripts and all this stuff, and they have put together this to help us understand this as a story. So some of these words aren't in the King James that you may be reading from with me, but get this and read. Get this book. I'm serious. Get this book and then read what those what things have been added, what things and why they added them. Okay, so that will help a lot, because it needs to be read like a story, right? All right. Let me go back. Yeshua said to another, Follow me. But he said, Master, allow me to catch up with you after I bury my father in a few years. Yeshua said to him, Let the dead bury their dead, but come with me and preach the kingdom of Yahovah. Another also said, Master, I will follow you, but let me first have one last farewell feast on Mount Gerizim with my family. And Yeshua said to him, No man who has put his hand to the plow and then looks back is fit for the kingdom of Yahovah. Wow. So there's so much here, and there's some commentary here I want to read to you, but that whole last sentence. No man who has put his hand to the plow and then looks back is fit for the kingdom of Yehovah. So if you're going to work for him and you put your hands to the plow and you begin to work for him and then you look back and you wish that you had something else other than this job that's ahead of you to plow this field, he says you're not fit for the kingdom of heaven, of Yehovah. That's huge. That's big. So once you start, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to start and make this agreement that says, I'm going to work for you. I'm going to start plowing this land for you. You've got to have, that's why Shaul talks about, endurance, courage, to finish the race. And you need that perseverance, that ability to persevere to finish the plowing, right? All right, so let me I'm looking here at what you're seeing, and it just looks so blown out. So I am super sorry, but you know what? The blowout makes all my wrinkles go away. Okay. Luke 9:59 has a little bit of commentary. So Luke 9:59. Let's see, what one was that? The one about Yahshua said, "Follow me," but he said, "Master, allow me to catch up with you after I bury my father in a few years." Okay, so this is the commentary here. Let me bury my father first. It is the responsibility of the children to care for their aged parents until they die. He was not digging a hole at that very moment. Other family members who were dead to the kingdom could take care of the details at home. Not everyone received an invitation to follow Yahshua as he traveled. It is a rugged life, and he had no idea where he would be sleeping the next night. Yahshua had a house to stay in at Capharnaum, but traveling and teaching in Israel at that time was living by faith and uncomfortable compared to the security of a fox den. Yahshua also spoke these things to Israelites who wanted to follow him earlier that summer in the Galilee. Very, very cool. I love the commentary on this. So he's not saying that he's grieving right now because his father had died and he wants to catch up with him in a few hours or days, but he's talking about let the pagans bury their own, right? Okay, Luke 9:61. There's just a little commentary on this. Oh, this is about the one that wanted to have his last farewell feast on Mount Gerizim. Okay. The man-made, this is what is the commentary in here. The man-made religious system of the Samaritans commanded that they keep the feast on Mount Gerizim. This potential disciple desires to have one last celebration with his family according to the paganized religious traditions that he inherited from his forefathers. Oh my. The last request finds its modern-day counterpart in those who cannot walk away from the warm, fuzzy, pagan traditions that Western Gentile Christians have inherited from Roman and Babylonian sun god worship. Yahshua replies, it's now or never. Oh, this is huge. I could almost stop right there, and I may actually. I think I will. I didn't even get that whole page done. That is huge. That's huge. I have heard several times during the course of our ministry, many times actually, people kind of processing the Christmas season that's coming up, the pagan holiday season that's coming up, and how they don't want to be a stumbling block, so they're going to go ahead and go anyway, to sit at their family's table, or they're going to do it one more time, or they just can't imagine not having that moment with family, and what's so wrong about having a dinner together. Oh my gosh, do you see what he's saying? This isn't me speaking. This isn't my words. This is Yeshua's words. He is saying, basically it's now or never. You know how Yeshua says the Ruach will come and the Ruach will go, and you better respond appropriately at the time that the Ruach comes, or the Ruach may never come back. You need the Ruach in order to obey. You must have the Ruach in order to eat of Yeshua, in order to get to the happily ever after, okay? So if you don't have the Ruach in you, big problem. Ain't going to happen. So if the Ruach comes and you reject the Ruach, that is the unpardonable sin, all right? So if you reject the Ruach coming and then the Ruach leaves, the unpardonable sin is that you can't be moved to obey without the Ruach. Okay, so he's saying, it's now or never. Oh, wow, if you are feeling moved to let go of the pagan traditions, and Christmas is huge. I mean, I speak on this so much, especially in the ladies group and stuff. This is huge, to let go of this tradition you are going to have a war on your hands, because that is the new repackaged pagan sun god worship that is in our face all for what, ever since July. It starts in July, right? And it's almost in every single movie that's and it's like here from what, I don't know, end of September, it seems like, in the stores, clear till February, when our neighbors and friends don't take down their Christmas decorations until, you know, the last leaf falls off of the pine tree. But it's pretty telling. He says it's now or never. So if you're feeling moved, it's now or never. It's now or never. Don't wait. Don't wait. Move appropriately. Respond appropriately to the call. This is what Michael Rood says. He says you need to respond appropriately to the call, which is leave Babylon, and at all costs. So yeah, it will cost you. Absolutely. Your family, friends will not be happy. Things may look like they're going to go to hell, or they are going to hell, because when you, if you remember, I had in my midweek show this week for on the ladies group, I read Jeremiah 44. You want your eyes open, you read Jeremiah 44 and see what the women did and see what the men did when Jeremiah came to them with the words from Yahweh, Yahovah Elohim, that said, stop your pagan practices. They said, no, we won't stop. The audacity to say, no, I won't. So you need to go read that. Okay, so this is what he spoke on the third day after Yom Kippur. We actually have the 15th day next, 15th to the 20th. So we actually, no, I am done. Yay, I am done. Good, good, good. So the next part, what are we, no, it won't be part. It'll be where Yahshua was during Sukkot. Yay, so this is only 2 parts between Yom Kippur and Sukkot. So there you have what he talked about. Go back and listen to me read, or get the chronological gospels yourself and read it and figure out what was it. It was so powerful. What did he really say during that time? And then contemplate him and eat of him. Yay. All right. So I am done. I will see you later. Hopefully, I'm going to actually scroll down and see if anybody commented. Nope. All right, guys. Hopefully the stream wasn't so bad. I don't know. Okay. Shalom. See you for the next reading. Bye-bye.